Folks, welcome to episode 52 of Soccer Situations. I'm Todd.
And I'm Alex.
We had a huge week in the Premier League, actually. A lot of huge wins. United fell short, but looked good. Massive goal gluts for Chelsea and Tottenham. And Arsenal put through the huge statement win.
Soccer Situation.
What'd you think of that improv, dude?
That was pretty good work.
That was some real effort. Let's do it live.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't need those notes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the cabin at Littlefoot Coffee.
We're back.
And this episode is brought to you by Littlefoot Coffee. Still,
delicious
for the
coffee.
moment, you can get 15% off Littlefoot using the promo code Situations.
It's a pretty good deal, y'all.
It's actually a really good deal.
It actually is a great deal.
It's
a little
insanely
too generous of us, to be honest.
Truly. You know, Alex, your coffee is the best in town, but I prefer to drink cheap dog shit.
Todd's trying to fire me up on this podcast today. He's trying to get me worked up. Turn this into a coffee podcast.
Right?
Start ranting about the industry.
Yeah, I'll change the subject. Keep your blood pressure nice and low. I thought we always talk about podcasts.
Yeah.
I think we actually probably consume an embarrassing amount of podcasts.
I certainly do.
Yeah, right?
I consume way. I mean, it's my majority of my entertainment these days.
Mine too.
Which is
the vast
crazy.
majority. And it's not, yeah, it is crazy. I went through this when I was in Texas too. So it is like not alien to me.
No.
You know, to fall into this. But anyway, I was thinking, why don't we just integrate kind of a podcast moment of the week where we pick essentially our favorite highlights.
Our favorite pod of the week?
From our favorite. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be an episode. It can be like a bit from an episode you saw.
Yeah, okay.
A particular Mark Maron rant or like
classic Maron
a
rants.
TYSO bit, anything. And I do, obviously we were talking, we burned a little bit of this off mic, talking about Kam Patterson on TYSO, but let's talk more about it.
Kam Patterson on TYSO. What a combination of humans.
Yeah, this kid's amazing. If you don't know, he's a very young baby comic. He's only been doing it a couple years.
Yeah, he kind of came on the scene at Kill Tony.
Yeah.
He was like, he pulled out of the hat at Kill Tony.
Yes. He
became a regular.
Became a regular at Kill Tony, and now he's touring, selling out places on his own.
Yeah.
And
Kam Patterson love.
Super unique voice. He's from West Orlando, it turns out, but he sounds like he's from a backwater swamp bayou.
Yeah.
You basically...
You could barely understand him half
You could
the time.
truly barely understand him.
And it's part of the bit. It works.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it adds to.
He's aware of it. It's not unlike I've watched many of my friends try to talk to a friend of the pod, Irish James.
Yeah.
And sorry, James, but you've seen it on people's faces. It can be a struggle with the
sometimes
thick
if
accent.
you're having a hard time paying attention already too, and then you're like
a little regional accent.
Not get that.
Add some stimulants into the mix. Like, wait a minute, what did he just say?
You miss a few things here and there.
My favorite, and James, I know you're listening to this. I don't know if you remember my buddy Josh, the tall, awkward blonde guy.
Oh, Josh.
I remember introducing Josh to James, and Josh has like social anxiety, kind of like I do. And I remember seeing the panic on his face
when he was talking,
that he couldn't understand James. He was like, "Fuck, I don't understand." And Josh, like he's from Minnesota and truly
so Minnesota nice.
He was so afraid of being rude about it.
Yeah, you don't want to have to keep going. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Super funny. And Glassman is so funny because he's the opposite, dude.
Yeah.
He was the most aggressively autistic ever. He literally
Goes
starts
right
the pod
for
by
him.
like, "Why do you talk like that?"
That is the most Glassman thing right out of the gate,
Right?
just to make it real intense right away.
Yeah.
But then make it funny.
Obviously, it's not coming from any kind of place of hostility.
No, not at all. He was just genuinely interested in Cam's whole persona, like where he was from.
And I learned a lot too.
I did too. Yeah.
Would not have guessed Florida.
Nope.
Would not have guessed Cam's mom is white.
Would not have guessed Cam's mom was white. That blew Rick's mind.
Actually, his scale of blackness in that episode is amazing too. Super, super funny.
Yeah. Was the same episode, right, where he's talking about basically he just wants light-skinned girls or dark-skinned girls?
Yeah, he's like, I like light-skinned girls or dark-skinned girls. And Rick keeps calling him bisexual.
Yeah.
Because he likes light-skinned girls and dark-skinned girls. And Kim's like, wait,
no. He keeps just immediately naturally saying and then going, oh, no. Catching himself every time.
I forget the scale of blackness they determined. You look like you wanted to grab that.
I mean, I'll take it.
It is yours, after all. But it's so funny. Very, very funny stuff. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
great pod.
for both of us. That is pod of the week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a combination I would have liked to have seen, but I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
It was a nice little treat for the week.
Oh, I have a direct quote from Rick. There's something attractive about your voice. And that's the real shit, right? That's the real autistic shit right there.
Yeah.
I get obsessed with the sound of some people's voices sometimes, dude.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I get that.
Kam Patterson
Maybe
is
I am
one
a
of
little,
them,
maybe
too.
I'm a little autistic as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
I get that way.
I mean,
as
I
well.
think that's pretty universal. I think maybe having a touch of the tism makes you more able to notice it more often. But
I
maybe
get that in music a lot.
yeah.
There's like pitches and things and like styles of voices in music that really just hit me.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people
But
that feel
I've
that way
spent
about music.
thousands of dollars and thousands of hours on synthesizers just twiddling knobs because I was like, this sounds like awesome. And you get it to like a perfect spot, and you're like, that sound has never existed before, and it's the best sound in human history. That's me with synthesizers, dude. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, Alex. That's very fun.
Sounds very
it's
fun.
Such a fun way to spend your time. A few weeks ago on the pod, we reminisced about World Cup '94 at the Silverdome in Pontiac. And we joked about how horrible it must have been to
On that
play on
concrete
that
pitch.
concrete surf. You played childhood football on it, right?
Yeah, it was basically
And
AstroTurf on concrete.
yeah. Anyway, sorry, let me look at my Zoom here.
Uh-oh.
Sure enough, it's off a little
He's
bit.
zooming. You
There
get
we
that
go.
slow zoom on your face.
That's better.
Zoom all the way in.
Anyway, The Athletic posted a beautiful article about it out of nowhere. It might have been the 30th
Wait,
anniversary, actually, this week. Did you know that the Silverdome in
that
Pontiac, Michigan was the first ever indoor World Cup venue?
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's fun trivia fact.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Even more surprising than that is that players fucking loved it, dude.
Really?
Turns out they actually grew a pitch outdoors
And moved
it into the stadium, and then cared for it with UV inside, which is unheard of and like insanely expensive. They
Ever go Detroit?
spent millions of dollars
I know it's in
maintaining that
Pontiac,
pitch. And yeah, yeah, exactly. But there were quotes from Jurgen Klinsmann, who was playing striker for Germany at the time,
Yeah.
and the German manager, who I'm spacing on right now. But they were like, "It's a miracle. It's such an amazing pitch." There's a great quote. Like the manager was like, "The pitch is flawless, and this place is a cathedral," just like massively praising it.
That's amazing.
The opposite of what we
Think about
speculated.
what we thought about the Silverdome.
Yeah, it was.
As the people who'd lived nearby.
Apparently, it was an incredible World Cup venue.
That's great to know.
Wild, right?
That's great to know.
Yeah.
Good job, people of Detroit.
Yeah, and I'll try to throw up a link of that Athletic piece. You should read it if you're a Michigander. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
of
that's
course
awesome.
the photos are of the cool decayed,
Yeah,
End-
which is sad.
end days
the end days
Silverdome.
of the Silverdome.
Um,
You ever watch that video of that? Is it the BMX dude that like does a video riding through it?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is cool.
It's a cool look at the stadium right before it was demolished, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool stuff. That's funny though that we were just talking about that.
yeah, it is funny.
The Athletics said, "Hold up a minute."
The Athletic's
gonna
been
educate
listening
you.
in on the pod. Oh, you think the pitch was shit? That kid thinks he knows because he played 7th grade football in there.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, they grew
They
like
didn't grow a pitch for
They
us.
grew a $3 million pitch outdoors in like hexagon patches and then assembled it inside the Silverdome in an unprecedented move.
That's insane.
Yeah, pretty cool
Really
stuff.
awesome though.
It is cool.
That's cool history.
Yeah.
Cool football history.
Yeah. Let's bring it back to modern times. Here in the episode teaser this week, if you saw it on socials, the theme was classic sponsors, throwback sponsors.
Yeah, throwback sponsors.
The Instagram account I've been obsessed with lately is this guy OJ shirt restorations.
Funny, I went to his website just before we started. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, let's see what they got on here.
Yeah, it's sick stuff, right?
Yeah, there's some dope stuff on here.
They're dropping that Arsenal kit with the Sega sponsor on it, I think, this week. But I don't know how much they're going for. Didn't that look good, though?
It
that
looks
third
so
kit
good
with the Sega.
Sega.
It's funny because I've actually been a little bit disappointed by that kit since seeing it in real life.
Yeah,
Or not
right.
real life, but in action.
But in
Yeah, it actually. I had high hopes for.
well,
I think
it's funny. You know what made me disappointed in it is when I saw the swiping through the lineup of kits that dropped all together with that kit. Everyone else's was way
It was
better.
kind of the worst one in that lineup.
yeah, when they put it like that, I was like, Oh,
Now
man,
that you
we got
mention it,
dunked on.
I think that's when I noticed too, is when you saw them all together. It's like, wait, I thought Arsenal's was sick,
I
but
thought ours was good,
it's-
but it doesn't look nearly as good now.
yeah, it's the worst of this
There
bunch.
were so many cool kits in that lot. I mean, that Juventus kit that we. Oh,
I actually want to buy that Juve one, I think.
I kind of do too.
That's the one I kind of want.
It's beautiful.
I'm so broke right now. To be talking about buying
I
kits
know,
is
right?
insane. But I
Trust me, the amount of times I've added kits to carts recently and been like, "What am I doing? I can't buy a kit right now.
it's
Come
insane,
on."
yeah. But I actually never thought in a million years I'd say I want a Juve kit, but I do want that.
Juve
shirt.
was always my Italian team, dude. I
Yeah.
get it.
I'm a Milan guy, dude.
Give me. I always loved the Juve pink kits though.
Yeah, not
They're
to
like
jump
super
ahead,
light
but we
pink
had kind of a
kits.
throwback to those today to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We'll come on to that. I'm still in casual corner here.
Yeah,
it's funny. I didn't think I had anything for casual corner today, and then I just banged out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on Casual Corner.
You know, the Peacock's back in the rotation now, obviously with
Oh,
football
yeah.
on, and
That makes sense.
I saw they just released an original John Woo movie. Do you remember John Woo from the '90s being like the biggest action guy ever?
Yeah.
you know. And
They dropped a new one.
I didn't know what he's been up to or where he's been, but
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Natalie Emmanuel from like Game of Thrones and Fast and Furious. You know what I'm talking
So
about?
it's like respectable stuff.
It's awesome actually. It was I expected it to be like a generic kind of Netflix streamer action movie.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was watching it, I was high and thought I was watching it on Netflix for most of the movie.
That's hilarious.
Until I like ended it and I was like, oh, it was on Peacock.
Oh, how was that?
This
I
is the
use
Peacock original? What the fuck? But anyway, it's such a. It looks like a modern movie, but it feels like a '90s movie.
That's awesome.
You know, like the Bourne movies, and then John Wick. Like everyone kind of got onto the real technical gunplay, like realistic
Yeah,
gunplay.
yep.
All of those movies are kind of backed by like YouTube videos of Keanu like doing
all
real
the-
life
yeah.
gun runs and stuff.
Yeah.
John Woo
Impressive
movies
stuff.
are the most unrealistic gunplay ever. It's slow motion diving, always
yes.
two guns akimbo.
Like video game style.
When there's slow motion shots, you can just see how much their hands are waving, that they wouldn't be hitting anything.
They'd be shooting
They're
everywhere.
just, like, diving and waving their arms all over the place. But the gunfights, everything is so stylish, and that's what I kind of miss.
Yeah.
We've gotten too gritty. We've gotten away from just like style for style's sake.
Yeah, just entertainment and style. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, this movie, like, so much shit happens where I'm like, this movie is so fucking dumb. And then I'm like, oh, that was cool. Like, that was actually a really cool shot that I kind of had never seen before. Or, like, that was really, there's a lot of, like, motorcycles blowing up. That's another classic John Woo, motorcycles flying through the air.
This is the good stuff with the 90s coming back right now so
Yeah.
hard. It's like we're getting good stuff like that.
I would, if he's got this up his sleeve, dude, I'm ready for a John Woo-assance, dude.
Bring him back.
Um,
Go hard. Give him like a whole run of movies.
Dude, there's this awesome scene. There's this climactic shootout where they're in like a graveyard. I forget. They're in Paris, I think. You don't need to know. But she shoots this guy off his motorcycle, and his motorcycle explodes and throws his body right into an
perfect.
open grave that had been dug. His body tumbles right into the grave. It's fucking awesome, dude.
That's a great bit.
It's amazing.
That's a great bit.
That's what this movie's all about. Lots of.
That's so silly.
John
Holy
Woo's
shit.
other signature was obviously slow motion, like doves flying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this one, it's so not subtle. Like in the opening credits, it's in like an old church, just like in Face Off.
Yeah.
That was like the big John Woo.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
does. They do the doves
same
flying
church,
out.
basically. In the opening credits, as it comes up, directed by John Woo, it's slow motion doves as his name comes up on screen.
That's perfect.
So they're just going in.
I
They're
love
going
it. Just lean
100%,
into it as
dude.
hard as they can.
But yeah, it was really a fun, surprising movie, and I wanted to talk about Natalie Emmanuel too because she's so fucking hot. And I realized watching this that they've actually never really let her be a hot, sexy lead lady, even though she's obviously that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like in Game of Thrones, she was Daenerys's translator, and she was cool and a badass.
Yeah.
But she was like meek and secondary and very like always like submissive because
Mm-hmm.
first she was a slave, then she was like a right hand.
yeah.
And then in like the Fast and Furious movies, she's not the sexy one.
No.
Gal Gadot is. So
Yeah.
she's like the hacker that's like a nerd.
Yeah.
And she can't drive, and she's like still not the hot one.
Yeah.
Even though she's like the most beautiful woman on earth.
Yeah.
She's up there. Anyway,
It's true.
in this movie, they finally like they're putting her in nonstop like awesome outfits. She changes outfits like 100 times through this.
All right.
And looks awesome.
She's finally getting her
And
chance.
she's like a super killer, fucking awesome, ruthless spy that murders everybody.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
That's good stuff.
Really enjoyed it. Woo's back, baby.
Who's back?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And speaking of movies, the only other thing with me going on is I'm in LA training mode officially, dude.
Officially.
I've been running like
Getting in
every
shape,
day.
like a marathon.
Yeah, it is. Dude. I'm getting a base.
Got to get that base.
I'm shedding my meat coat. I'm trying
Your
to
Midwest
shed my meat
Midwest meat coat.
coat. That's a Beth Stelling reference, if anyone doesn't know.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to Beth. She has a podcast now called Sweethearts.
Sweethearts.
With Mo Welch. Do you know Mo Welch, the comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to it when I was running. It's funny.
I'm sure
they
it's
basically eat candy and sweets and talk about it.
That's awesome.
Funny stuff.
That's a good podcast. I like that.
It's very Beth. I'm into it.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But yeah.
I threw on here just two things. I was listening to like an episode of Matt and Shane where they started talking about old school multiplayer Halo.
Oh, the best video
and
game
just
ever.
like the introduction of the sword and like the hammer and all, like just playing multiplayer Halo.
Dude.
And I was like, man, I miss Halo.
Halo.
I miss playing multiplayer Halo.
Halo 1 was literally like world changing for our generation.
It's so huge.
And then Halo 2 dropped with some of those upgrades you were talking about.
Insane.
And plus the
didn't think
sandbox
it could get
of
better.
being able to forge where like people could
Yeah.
make game types and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like the dawn of multiplayer gaming as we know it.
Yeah.
And it might still be the most fun it ever was.
I think it was. I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but it seems like the pinnacle to me.
Dude, no shooter. Shooters are always too serious. Halo had shenanigans.
Yeah, there was so many funny shenanigans in that game.
You know?
You could do ridiculous stuff in that game.
You really could.
Everyone was always laughing.
Funny
I mean, there's a lot of anger too, classic video game anger.
Tons of
but
anger, of course.
Still really funny.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's funny.
Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was just talking about Halo. I've been wanting to play Halo, and I think I'm itching for a shooter right now, because like I've been watching a ton of like random Apex content started getting fed to me in my socials.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, oh, man, Apex is so fun. It looks so fun. There's a bunch of new characters I don't even know.
Yeah.
New guns.
Yeah.
I might have to start playing some Apex again.
I've never had that experience with that game because I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, you hate
It's
Apex.
not. I actually don't hate it.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
just
so
not good at it,
bad at it that
which
I
makes
can't
it not
have
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not fun.
I'm always just like a burden on the team because it's only a team of 3, so like
your
you're kind of
team really matters.
You're really bringing your boys down if you suck at it, and I always
it's hard to
am.
carry.
It's always
in that
like
game.
someone is always in a state of coming back to get me.
that happened. That happens in Apex.
Yeah, and
Or you know, playing with Ian. And
They're just gone.
Ian just runs off and does his own thing constantly.
and that is usually the problem. Is I take an extra 10 to 15 seconds when I'm looking at a chest. You know,
Yeah, doing a
I'm
little
not like an
looting.
F1 stop like your most Apex players, where they're
yeah.
just like boom,
Where it's
boom.
like a
They,
spaz.
I am like, okay, now what do I want? Wait, do I need this?
Like, ooh, this looks nice.
and I
What's
look
this?
up from the chest, and the team's gone, dude, just gone.
It's probably like me, you, and Ian, and usually it's Ian sprinting ahead. I'm just trying to keep up with him, and then you're back there looting.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm like, I'm down.
Another team rolled up.
I don't even have a gun yet.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, that is sometimes the Apex experience is just like landing, not getting the gun, dying.
Sadly for me, more often than not. But I appreciate the game. I know it's built well and made well, and
It runs
looks a
so
lot of-
smoothly and
yeah.
plays so well. That's the one thing I'll give them.
It does seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll get back into it.
What else you got, dude?
Whew. Well, we celebrated 5 years of Littlefoot in Michigan.
Oh yeah, congratulations, dude. That's
Yeah,
so huge.
That was a big deal. Yesterday. That was just yesterday. That seems crazy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, we
little
celebrated
party.
5 years here. Had a little party. Tons of people turned up.
Yeah.
It was
Stunk
super
like sex
busy.
in here when we got in here today.
Things got weird. No, it was good. It was a good little party. A lot of people showed up. Kind of calmed down at the perfect time. A bunch of like Rosie's family and stuff was hanging out.
That's
so
what you want.
got pretty chill. It was nice. A lot of
You want it to
snacks.
Calm down early.
Yeah. Nothing we like more than a party that calms down nice and early.
Ain't no party like a Burbo party, because a Burbo party stops at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we get
Or-
it's time or 3
As
o'clock
early
ideally.
as possible.
Ideally 3 p.m.
Remember the party I had when I lived with Dave Veneziano in Chicago? Were you at that house party we had?
I think so. Yeah.
And I got to that point where, as a host, I was like, "All right, we're done.
Shut it down.
We're done.
Everybody out.
Everybody." And I wasn't trying to be mean about it. I was like, "Nah."
I'm tired,
The
and I'm not going to bed with all you.
Switch
in this
has
house.
been flipped, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Everyone has their breaking point. Well, some people don't, honestly.
To be fair,
But-
that was at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's not like you
I
were shutting
wasn't
it down
at
at
like
11.
10 or 11
Yeah.
o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, you went hard enough.
I did go hard that night. I was so mad at Dave. This is odd because this is when you know it's bad. Because I love like playing music for people so
Of course.
much. But we were supposed to alternate DJing, and he just never
came back.
relieved me.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that for like 5 hours.
Just
dude.
DJing.
And
you were like working your party basically.
yeah, without giving details, I probably wasn't in a natural state of mind. So I remember at a certain point just being like, I couldn't even
Realizing
see
that you've been
the mixer was just a blur of lights. I couldn't like find switches, and I was just like, "What is happening, dude?"
Yeah. Like, all right, party's over.
It wasn't long after that party was over.
Party's over. It's time to shut it down.
Yeah, that was a fun one though.
Yeah.
That was an odd time in my life.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a funny like little. Yeah, that house on Damon was just an interesting place.
Yeah, classic. The best location in Chicago, like heart of Ukrainian Village, blocks from Rainbow Club.
So nice. Location-wise, the best you could ever hope for.
Just off Wicker Park, but
Yeah.
it was like a quiet
Greek
neighborhood.
Greek Corner right there.
Greek Corner.
Best little Greek spot.
Now there's like a Michelin-starred Filipino restaurant right there.
Is there really?
Kasama, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I drove by that place.
That opened when I was still there.
Greek Corner's still there, though. They're still kicking.
Oh, Greek Corner's never going to go away.
I love it,
Someone
dude.
crashed their car into that building, and they still
It's
just
true.
rebuilt.
They reopened. You can't stop them.
You can't stop the Greek fries, dude. They probably patched the wall with Greek fries.
Yeah,
Just feta.
fetted it all back together.
I need
again.
more feta. I need
Dry
more
out feta on there. And just
Dude, I believe that Bulgarians or Greeks would
use feta to build.
build a building with feta. Yeah.
I'm hungry. All right, let's wrap this podcast up quick. Let's go eat.
I actually have been craving Bulgarian feta, dude.
I've
need
just
to
been
go out of my way
craving
and
like
find some.
Greek Mediterranean food in general right now.
Yeah.
Like I want it so bad.
Do you know a good Mediterranean spot here?
No, I don't think so, man.
Huh.
There's got to be one somewhere.
Dude, there's massive holes in the food culture here. You never
It's true.
know.
It's true. I feel like there's usually maybe one spot worth trying, but we'll see.
Sure.
Do some research.
Yeah.
I need some of that in my life right now.
Yeah. Should we move on to the football?
Let's move on. Talk some football. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah, dude. Obviously, kit drops are slowing down, so I kind of just didn't have a kit corner section of the
Yeah, that's
podcast
fine.
today.
That's all right.
McTominay agreed a deal with Napoli today.
Oh, that's what it
So
was.
McTominay
Yeah.
is on his way out, but I believe Lukaku is on his way out of Chelsea officially as well.
How we feeling, United fans, about McTominay leaving? He kind of was your best player at moments during a dark period for you.
Huge role player last year. I
Yeah.
think. In a way, player of this. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me he won player of the season for United last year.
There was moments where he seriously rescued their season several
it's true.
times.
Huge goals.
So it's kind of a weird one. I didn't see that coming.
I would be a little bit sad to be seeing him go for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if they want to get back to the top of the table, they do need to make some upgrades, you know?
Yeah, and if you can get some money for a player like that.
Sometimes when you have like a 7 out of 10 player, it hurts to get rid of them, but it's still the right move.
It's the right move for if they need to build something there. So.
Yeah. And I think they are. The gist of me watching this United game was I kind of got my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right, but I got to laugh at a 95-minute winner from Brighton. You know,
Beautiful winner, by the way.
Great stuff. João Pedro is a guy basically we've had our eye on since he signed with Brighton, and we're like, this little unknown Brazilian guy.
He's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
of
he's
course.
gonna be sick. They signed him for $7 million, I think.
Yep.
And
We'll sell him for a lot of money.
That goal was a sheer calamity from United.
Yeah, it was.
The replay, it's almost a joke watching all of their defenders ball watching and just the 3 Brighton players ghosting.
Yeah, that
behind
screenshot of them all is like.
It was like a cartoon where like the characters are looking for someone and they're sneaking past in the background.
It was even a funny thing of like Martinez, even though like we just praised him so much last pod.
Yeah.
But like he like has like his arms behind his back, just
Yeah.
kind of like casually watching.
They truly lost focus. They were like, this game is done.
Yeah.
And
Final whistle's coming any second.
as the commentator said, like there were 3 Brighton players that could have easily gotten in on
They
the
were all
end.
onside, too.
And they were just free headers galore. Any
Yeah.
one of them could have taken it. And they snatched it, yeah. But I didn't want to beat up on United because I thought they looked really good aside
did.
from that.
They did.
Super, super unlucky not to go ahead in the game, actually.
Yeah.
They had they had a beautiful, beautiful counterattack. Honestly, that would have rivaled some of the great Liverpool ones we've been seeing.
Yeah.
But that Xerxes was sliding in, doing his job in the number 9 position.
Dude, that was so gutting.
The ball glanced off his shin, like more
Inches
It was
away.
like 2/3 over the line.
Yeah.
and it glanced off his offside shin and ruled out what would have been a stunning goal.
Beautiful goal. Yeah. Oh, who was it that finished that? Was it Garnacho?
I think Garnacho.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, that player has to be so gutted
It was tough.
with that call.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a good goal.
It was a beautiful goal. A beautiful front to back play.
So unlucky.
It was incredible.
So unlucky.
But I do have a little bit of criticism for him. When Brighton was on top in that game,
Yeah.
did you notice how much United was struggling with their press? How many times Brighton regained possession and like right outside their box?
It's true.
It's
It's
lot.
true.
I hadn't seen the stat, but a lot of times Brighton
Yeah.
were just bullying them outside their box at times in that game.
Absolutely.
So that's something they definitely need to work on. Obviously, they just brought in a bunch of new defenders, so they're
It's
going
gonna
to
take
need
time
to
for-
gel and settle there.
There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be...
Yeah, but that's a weak spot. I'm actually glad we play them next week, hopefully before they can gel a little
Get
bit.
it together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he could be building something there.
that high press looked super effective against them.
Yeah.
And yeah, that window probably won't be open for long.
Yeah.
You know?
They'll figure it out, at least much better than they are currently.
Welbs got through as well. And
Welbs.
the commentators, Danny Welbeck always celebrates against Manchester United, never hesitates. That's going to be a
Loves
little bit of
it.
a theme this episode, actually. We had players celebrating against their old teams.
I love Welbs, man.
Yeah, that was a great bit of commentary in that game. And my other favorite was there was a VAR callback for an offside call. And as soon as they pulled it back to get out the lines, the commentator goes, "Time for trigonometry." I thought that was really funny, dude. I don't remember who the commentator was on that game, but I loved it. I
someone
felt
just
his
like-
pain, dude.
He's just infuriated with VAR.
Yeah,
He's over it.
I felt his pain so bad, dude.
Yeah. I think a lot of fans feel that pain.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Other random notes on that game is I've really come around on Garnacho. Speaking of him, I think he's going to be the real deal.
Yeah.
Um,
he looks like a player. I
but-
still don't like his face.
I was going to say, but he needs to fix that simple Jack haircut. Dude.
His haircut's so bad.
I think he needs a different haircut because his face does look extra dumb with it.
It does not complement his look.
It magnifies his dumbness.
Yeah.
It looks
yeah.
very caveman.
Come on, you're a good player now.
Yeah.
It's time to shape up.
Yeah.
Get that figured out.
Yes. And elsewhere in other evaluations of men's looks.
Yes.
I noticed that Ruud van Nistelrooy has kind of a Ron Perlman vibe going on in his
Perlman.
side profile, not
Yeah,
face
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But when you see him from the side, he's got this huge kind of lower jaw structure that
Okay.
looks like Ron Perlman. I'll throw it up. We'll see.
Put it in. Drop it in.
I'm gonna drop it in because that one needs a visual reference.
Yep.
Yeah.
People got to see that.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Pretty good though. Pretty good game.
Yep.
Start the weekend off.
What's next on the old agenda?
Oh, we have Arsenal, Aston Villa next on the agenda.
Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0.
Huge win.
This
for
was a
Arsenal.
massive win. Obviously, we had a
Statement.
couple of huge score lines over the weekend.
Yeah.
But this
yeah.
was probably the biggest statement win for me.
Yeah, this game it really hit me. Unfortunately I did have to watch this game during our party.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
But
that.
it hit me just before the game kicked off how big of a game it was. I think somebody asked me who was playing, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, Villa are good."
Dude, Soccer Situations is the original proponent of Aston Villa for Champions League contention.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been the Unai backers, and yeah, it is easy to forget
Stressful.
because there's always just so many headlines about the other big teams, quote unquote.
of course, yeah.
But Villa are
Still being slept on, even though they're
yeah.
building something huge.
They're
there.
super ambitious every transfer window.
Yeah, they're back in Emery.
They're aggressively trying. You can see them trying to expand their financial portfolio and sponsorships.
Yeah, they're trying to get that media.
They're trying
money.
to consolidate power, dude.
Yeah, they wanna be a
see
top four
that it
team.
needs to happen.
Yeah,
And it's gross talking about the financial direction of their aspect
it's
of that.
huge.
But on the pitch, you forget that it's a real threat now. That's a fixture to
they have
sweat
to
about,
play that way.
especially going away to Villa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's tough. They did it to us last year. They kind of killed our title chances.
Yeah.
So it was a big one.
Yeah, it's true. My original awesome headline that I had deleted was something like Arsenal banishes the banes of their last. It was cool alliteration.
Cool
It was a
alliteration
proper
one?
newspaper headline about
No.
Arsenal banishing the ghosts of last season.
Yeah, it was a big one for us.
It
Big
was
moment.
Yeah, they did the double over you, right, last year?
They did. They did.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge. That was one we definitely needed early in the season.
What were your highlights of it? Okay, we got them here.
So we got some highlights.
Run me
There's some
through it.
funny. There's some funny stuff that happened in it. A lot of the highlights are based around funny things that happened. Really.
That's the way we like it.
But yeah, so we saw Ben White up to some good shenanigans, being awesome.
That guy is a little bit of a son of a bitch, isn't he?
He's such a son of a bitch, and I love it. He's definitely a player that other teams hate. Other teams' fans hate.
Yeah.
And as an Arsenal fan, you love so much because
Yeah.
he's always up to some bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was defending Saliba. Saliba got, taken down, and then McGinn blasted the ball into him as he was going down. And immediately, without hesitation, Ben White just hammers the ball at McGinn.
Caught him like in the ribs.
Yeah,
too,
caught him right in the ribs with it. And it's funny because it also deflects back and hits Ben White. Because he kind of flinches. I think it probably saved him a little bit because it came back at him and he flinched. And then he looked like something happened to him. But he absolutely hammered that ball at McGinn.
I think you could pass that off as an attempted clearance.
Right?
Yeah. What's the rule in football when a quarterback has to act like it was an attempted pass?
Yeah, right. The ball has to be moving forward.
Is that the rule? But anyway, that's how well I know the NFL. But you like referee. I was trying to clear it.
Yeah, cleared it right off his rib cage.
He's just in the way.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Classic stuff from Ben White.
Yeah.
David Raya's save. That
Incredible.
unreal save.
There were actually a handful of magical saves across the league this weekend, but that might have been the pick of the litter, yeah.
Yeah, the ball looping over his head hits the crossbar. He's diving backwards to try and save that one.
Yeah.
And the ball drops directly to Ollie Watkins.
Dead center in the goal, gaping net.
You're like, that's a goal.
Gets a hand to
I
it.
couldn't believe that was the one moment I actually did watch live, too. I was like, I was watching. I was like, I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, no, like unbelievable moment. Unbelievable save.
It really was.
To recover that quickly and get that ball out of there somehow was insane.
Yeah, it was.
Raya proving why he's been backed so hard by Arteta, I guess, so far early in the season. He's made some pretty unreal saves already.
He looks super good, dude.
Yeah. You're starting to see, I guess, why the most confusing transfer saga with him and Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Kind of just so much drama, and it did seem so confusing to a lot of people.
I think I also was a little skeptical about it because Arsenal just have a little bit of an iffy track record
with keepers,
with keeper swaps, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
They've made the wrong decision quite a few times in recent history.
Funny enough, with the other thing we could talk about in this match, Martinez.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, speaking of.
Martinez probably should have saved Arsenal's second from Thomas Partey.
Yeah, it looked
kind of
like
went right through his hands.
Yeah. You don't see him make those mistakes very often.
Which is funny because I wasn't watching it super closely. I saw the Partey goal go in, and I was like, wow, what a hit. Like, unbelievable goal by Partey. And then after the game, I finally saw like all the Reddit posts and everything of Martinez getting mocked by Arsenal fans.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a decent stinging hit.
It was.
And you could tell, I don't know if he didn't have eyes on the ball when it was struck, but you could tell it caught him off guard.
Yeah.
It was definitely like an element of surprise was a factor.
It's true. It's true. It was a good hit. I think to say it was all a Martinez error takes away from Partey's role in that.
No, it's funny to bust Emmy's balls because in opposite circumstances, he'd be the first to do it. He's a mega troll too.
Definitely.
And obviously, his relationship with Arsenal, he would love to be rubbing that in the face of Arsenal in particular.
Of course.
So you don't feel too bad about busting his balls. You kind of feel like he gets it. But at the same time, it wasn't 100% his fault.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a sneaky shot.
It was.
And it wasn't curling around defenders. Am I wrong?
No, he did curl that end to the bottom corner.
Yeah.
That's something that Partey tries all the time. He tries that constantly.
Yeah.
That's like his move. Come to the top of the box and just try and pass it into the bottom corner.
Sure.
He gets close often. Emmy couldn't stop that one though.
Right on.
Another funny Trossard with the goal coming off the bench, looking so angry after he scored.
What was he so mad about?
He looked furious.
At first, I thought he was just joking and he was trying to do like an Eric Cantona kind of
like serious, just like tough guy face.
Oh yeah.
After
By the way,
scoring.
Eric Cantona plays a gangster in that John Woo movie.
Wait, really?
I forgot to mention that.
How do we forget that?
Tie it into the pod.
Yeah, there we go.
Cantona,
right, we're good.
major role in it. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
didn't see that coming.
Sorry to cut you off again.
No.
But yeah, I thought he was going for a Cantona style serious celebration.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he was
genuinely upset.
Hmm.
Of course, I was getting into my conspiracy mind. I was like, is Arsenal about to sign another winger? And he knows.
Yeah.
He knows something's happening.
Yeah, he feels disrespected.
He feels disrespected at the club. I mean, I think he does feel slightly disrespected that he's not starting ahead of Martinelli.
Yeah. There's always...
Which he has an argument to be made there.
I think that's the trickiest player relationship to manage is
Yeah.
the attacker that's just not quite good enough to be in the starting three, but that you want a good attacker off the bench.
You need
so
that
they're still a
attacker off the
good
bench.
player. Yeah.
He's an unbelievable player, but like
Exactly.
you're like, we need you
Yeah.
to come off the bench.
And attackers, I feel like, have the bigger egos of all the players, too.
Yeah, they want to be the star.
I feel like that is such a tricky point for managers to keep those guys happy.
It's going to be hard to keep him happy, especially if we sign another winger at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trossard has earned, you can't argue against it. He's earned his right to be there.
He's a really good player, dude.
But it was to make it funny and to take away from the, serious note of Trossard. Saliba chasing behind him the whole time, trying to get him to celebrate and like doing this, trying to get him to do the goggles. He was like, "Do it, dude, do it, do it."
Didn't he do a serious goggle for a second?
He did do it for a second, and Saliba was super stoked.
He gave it to him.
Like, yeah.
It's like a little kid trying to get a trucker to honk.
Yeah, exactly. He was so excited.
Gave him a little one.
He gave him he gave into it finally.
That's Saliba, dude. You
gotta give it to Saliba, man. How do you not like that guy? Oh, you know what's funny? Random content that I noticed the other day is I saw Arsenal. Apparently, Saliba and Tomiyasu are like best friends.
Oh, I love an odd buddy pairing.
Yeah, super odd couple pairing. But what's funny is Tomiyasu said he loves Saliba because he's just like, he's so chill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is funny because, Tomiyasu seems like kind of a quiet guy.
Sure.
So he likes Saliba because Saliba is just quiet and laid back.
Dude. Respect. I like that.
Yeah, I was like, that's I love that odd couple.
Yeah.
It's a great classic.
I love
odd couple.
an odd couple. The classic Liverpool one is Mo Salah and Dejan Lovren.
Yeah, right.
They were best
What
friends.
a funny combo that
Lovren,
is.
a goofy, mediocre, like center back, Slav.
Yep.
And it is
super serious Mo Salah.
Serious, religious Mo Salah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting pair.
Yeah, it was a funny one always. I think they're both real dumb. I think that was the connection there.
That helps. That helps in some relationships.
I think they're both a little bit of simpletons. That was what it was.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, a couple of simpletons.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
they just love football.
I always think of Gerald Ford and Homer Simpson on The Simpsons.
Oh, there you go.
Honestly.
Yeah,
becoming best friends because they're both kind of dumb.
Yeah, both a little simple.
Yeah. What else? You good with Arsenal?
I think we can move on. Huge points for Arsenal. Huge,
move on down the line.
Huge, relief to get that one out of the way. It's a tough early fixture away to Villa.
Like I said, yeah, I think that's the statement win of the weekend, dude.
Yeah, that's a big one, especially after last season, them doing the double over us.
Yeah, even
felt like a have to win for Mikel.
For sure. I mean, when you're trying to go into a season right at the start of the season and say we're title contenders, you have to clear that first hurdle, the first big team. Like we have Manchester United this coming weekend.
That's a big test
for us. Like if we're going to be taken seriously and not just like a rebuild season, we have to win that game the same way you beat Villa here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
speaking of transfer talk, I guess we'll drop a little Arsenal transfer talk in here. We joked about Nico Williams being a possibility, and I'm still holding out huge hope that that'll be a surprise signing for us. But it seems like Mikel Moreno is finally almost done. That'll be announced probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
All the official photos and everything, I'm sure we're being taken care of. But that seems like a done deal now.
But someone got their Basque midfielder, you son of a bitch. We went after the wrong one.
It's not who I was expecting.
We went after the loyal one.
Yeah, you went after the loyal one, apparently.
When you see pictures of San Sebastian, it's like,
you get it.
Fair play.
You get it, right? Mikel Moreno's also he's 28 now.
Sure.
So he's got to get that move in.
If he wants a big payday.
Yeah, he's got to get that move to the Premier League.
It's the time to sell out.
To play there again.
Sell out.
Weirdly, isn't it weird that he played for Newcastle?
Did he?
Yeah. Mikel Moreno played for Newcastle at some point.
The name was vaguely familiar to me, but I'm not going to act like I remember that.
I didn't remember it until I saw videos. I was like, oh my God.
I saw
what
his era?
face.
Like Eddie Howe?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Good player, though. I'm excited. It's good. I'm never going to turn down a solid midfield player. You could always use more of those.
I don't know anything about him. I got to be real.
I mean, he won the Euros.
He did?
That's all you need to know, Todd.
Spain wins everything, dude. I actually saw an Instagram post that was like Spain currently holds like these 12 titles. And it was like Women's World Cup, like Euros World Cup, under 19 like Euros champion. It was like down the line. Spain just
We're back to Spain dominance.
Yeah,
they've got a new cycle of dominance going.
I'm telling you, it's about the afternoon nap, dude. I think that's the key to everything.
It is. Why can't we not adapt that?
Permanent,
in this country.
Mandatory siesta, dude. I want it.
My
so
body
bad.
wants it every day at 3 p.m.
2 o'clock for me, dude.
Yeah,
Starts
mine
to
starts
drag.
at
It's
2,
like,
but
it's nap
usually by
time.
3 I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm like, okay, I need sleep.
Right?
All right, should we keep talking football now?
Yeah, let's move on to Chelsea Wolves.
What a
Talk
game.
about some big scorelines. Chelsea out of nowhere putting up 6.
It's funny. This is kind of a classic early project when you have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Look to me.
Sometimes it can
Where
click.
they just like blasting goals in, but still looked vulnerable as hell at the back.
100%.
Like Wolves could have almost gone goal for goal with them at some points.
It did look like that was the story of the game until like Palmer and Madueke like did wonder twin activation.
Just what
In,
a combo that was.
I think it was like a 13-minute window or 14-minute window.
Yeah.
The two linked up for 3 goals in less than 15 minutes.
And it looked easy for them.
So clinical.
They were just ripping.
I was like, Wolves need a timeout right now.
Yeah, like you guys
dude.
like have a player go down injured or something.
Because they fell apart, dude. They were
in that game.
They were
well in that game.
for sure. I was feeling pretty optimistic about them until they.
I was like, Chelsea looks better, but they're still, Wolves have their moments. And then Chelsea just pulled away.
Right.
Hit the gas.
Did you catch what made it so funny? That was Madueke that got the hat trick.
What? No, what was it?
Oh my god, dude! The night before he went off on Instagram. They
Oh,
were
no,
staying
did
in
he?
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
And he posted in his stories, every single thing about this town is shite.
Oh
So
shit! And then he
roasted
dunked on him.
Wolverhampton and stirred up a ton of controversy the night before.
Oh,
and
Wolves
then-
fans have to be furious.
And then went out
dude.
and scored a hattie against him.
Ooh.
Honestly, like that kind of was like my moment of the weekend.
That's a beautiful thing. I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. How did I
Every
miss
single
that?
thing about this place is shite, I think is what he said.
And then he went and put a hat trick. He almost scored 4.
Yeah.
He probably could have
Yeah.
scored 4 or 5.
So funny. To be fair, I've heard that about Wolverhampton from a lot of people.
That it's terrible.
It doesn't look like a super nice
Pedro
place to
Neto
live.
seemed happy enough to be out of there.
But yeah,
Continuing the funny things from this game.
super funny. But yeah, 3 goals for him, 3 assists from Palmer to him.
Pedro Neto celebrating openly, happily.
Neto, big funny celebration
Goofy
against Wolves.
Respect. Not only did he celebrate against his old
It was
team,
downright goofball.
he went big enough to where 2 players picked him up and he wrapped his legs around the goal scorer.
They were carrying him like he was like one of those funny like Indian like trolley things.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful assist.
It was
what a
It
cutback.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just last week we were talking about hating players not celebrating against their teams. We had some glorious examples
Of players
celebrating
not
against
caring
their
at
old
all.
teams this week. So respect for that.
I love
Respect to Cole Palmer. He had a hell of a game. A goal and 3 assists.
Looked like back to the Cole Palmer we saw last season.
Yeah. Dude. Chelsea's offense basically exploded in this game. Earlier in the week, Maresca confirmed what we had speculated on the podcast, that he really sees a squad within the squad.
I mean, he's
like-
clearly pretty ruthless.
He's like,
about
I'm
it.
not working with 42 players. I'm working with 21 or
like
whatever.
Sterling is out.
Yeah, he banished.
They literally got rid of Sterling
He
basically.
banished a bunch of players. To be fair, when you look at the players that he cut out of what he considers the first team squad,
Yeah,
it's a lot of bullshit.
it is.
But there are a handful in there that I'm like, if they get the wrong injury crisis,
They
he's
could
gonna
use those players.
He's gonna have to go back and rely on these players. I think,
And they all hate him
and
now.
he really publicly banished them from the first.
Which you
team.
also like. You can't blame him though, because in his situation, he has to be ruthless. They've given him an absurd mess to deal with.
Yeah.
He has to start chopping people.
His quote was something along the lines of, I don't care if they're on a 20-year contract. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Like and that's the attitude that he has to take. That is the position they put him in. So
the other less exciting rumor around Arsenal is Raheem Sterling to Arsenal.
That'd be funny.
I wouldn't hate it, honestly. Like I said to you, I think when you sent it to me, was he's a good depth player.
Sure.
If we need wing depth,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad about Raheem Sterling playing for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's obviously a little less exciting than Nico Williams.
Right. Definitely.
No disrespect to Sterling. I like Sterling.
I like Sterling too. I never had the Liverpool bandwagon hate for him when he left us for City.
Yeah, I
was
remember
like,
that. Yeah.
I kind of get it, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he was at a time when it was like,
Well, he left right at the end of Rodgers' reign, and he hated Rodgers from
Yeah.
the first Being Liverpool episode. Like, Rodgers burnt that bridge with Raheem Sterling from day one.
Yeah.
So you know he hated his whole time at Liverpool. And I think he might have left like right when Klopp came in, but it was literally like one of the first things that happened.
yeah.
So
Klopp didn't really have a chance to try and win him back.
I think, yeah, I think it was understandable that his time at Liverpool was done.
Yeah.
I wasn't salty about it,
For sure.
you know? I guess
yeah.
we real quick touch on the other explosive goal output this weekend. Tottenham 4, Everton 0.
Yeah.
This one is mostly down to Everton, I think.
It seemed that way.
No, I mean Tottenham scored some banging goals actually.
They did look pretty good at
some
times.
really nice goals, but dude, Everton look. I think I was really dramatic about how bad they looked last week, but I didn't see anything encouraging this week, dude.
Yeah, things do not look happy on the other side of
No,
Liverpool.
dude. The exact sentence I said last week was the squad looks bleak, and it really does.
It does. It
They
looks
don't have
very hard.
any answers in that squad, dude.
No. And there's no money to be had to buy more players.
I know everything you see from Sean Dyche is just like, bro, look at what I'm working with here.
Like, this is it.
You feel like any other manager with a bit of an ego would have been gone. You know, if it was Allardyce, I think he would have jumped ship by now.
Yeah.
The other sort
Dyche is hard work, and he sees it as a challenge.
yeah,
He wants to keep them up.
he kept them up with 2 points deductions last season.
Yeah.
My guy, you've proven everything.
It's
You
going
got
to take a
nothing left
miracle,
to
man. If
prove.
he keeps this team together this season, it's going to be one of the best managerial performances we've probably seen.
Truly. I mean, last year you could argue was that.
Yeah, honestly.
But in the end, it came down to the fact that there were some historically bad teams in the
Yeah,
league
he kind of got
last
a
year.
little lucky with the way the teams fell apart around
There
him.
were a couple of like automatic places taken in the relegation
Yeah, where these
zone.
teams were just so bad.
They
It
were
was like
never going.
They were never even had a shot of staying in the league.
Exactly so. Regardless, Sean Dyche doesn't get the Bayern Munich job. Vincent Kompany gets it. But I mean, I understand the differences
But no,
there.
yeah, obviously, Sean
but
Dyche is a very different manager.
we haven't seen enough of a couple of teams yet. I haven't properly watched Southampton or Nottingham Forest yet,
I
for
haven't
instance.
either. No.
So I don't know that there's not going to be those teams to pad out the relegation zone.
There might be a couple bad teams.
But I don't know.
Things haven't shaken out yet.
Yeah,
but
Leicester has a really thin squad too.
it's true.
But Everton need a couple of, again, epically bad teams to keep them
To
out of
keep
the
them-
relegation zone.
Yeah, yeah.
As it stands,
It seems like they're going to be hovering
2
around
results, -7 goal diff. Don't look like
it.
scoring,
It's so early, obviously.
but they look.
It is a hard start.
It's the ugliest start you could expect from
Yeah.
those fixtures.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, not ideal for Everton fans right now. They have to be very, very stressed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tottenham, on the other hand, look decent.
for sure.
Another team that I feel like we haven't seen enough of on the other end of things. Like, we don't know enough about Tottenham yet this season.
Yeah, they're at a stage in kind of the Big Ange project where he really dramatically improved them when he came in.
He did, yeah.
Now I think they're hitting a little
But
bit
are
of
they
a plateau.
plateauing a bit?
And
Yeah.
now it's where you get up to that like 85th percentile where it really becomes difficult to get any gains at that point.
It really starts to be hard now, and it does, sadly, in the modern game, require a lot of money to make that next
It's
step.
the same as Liverpool trying to find a number 6 and everyone roasting FSG.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you know how hard it is to find a guy that's better than what we have?
Yeah.
It's so hard to find one
when you're
that
competing
is
at the high level,
in the top percentile and we can afford.
those players don't just appear out of nowhere.
No, and they don't move to unsexy clubs either.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
It is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's because all the sexy clubs also want those players,
Yeah.
so they have options.
Yeah, it's true.
But
But big win from Tottenham. I don't want to do them totally dirty.
no, not at all.
They
They scored some pretty goals.
they sure did.
Every time I looked back at the screen, they were scoring again. It felt like so.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think it was. It's going to define their season. That game. Everton did not put up a ton of resistance.
Yeah.
You know?
That's something to get too excited about.
Honestly, we can just bullet point Ipswich City. Ipswich went
Yeah.
up early.
hilarious.
City got
then
angry
City
and
just
swatted
did
him
what
down.
they
City
did.
just machine gunned him. Before you
Haaland
know it,
just
it was 4-1.
Took over the game.
Yeah, Holland did take over the game.
Yep.
He scored 3 very easy-looking goals. I was looking at his penalties.
Yeah.
Before he took it, they put up the graphic.
Yeah.
All of his penalties go to a spot, the same spot, and
Yeah.
I mean all of them.
How do keepers not stop
There's
it?
no outliers, and it's not even in the corner. It's down to the right of the keeper.
Yeah.
In a savable distance.
Yeah.
And the keeper dove the wrong way.
We got
I was
conspiracy.
like, dude, did you not do your homework? Because every single one,
Everybody.
like I said, not a single outlier. All his pens in the same spot, and the keeper dove the opposite direction.
That's infuriating.
Yeah.
That's infuriating because you see those patterns happening, but then keepers learn it.
Yeah.
And then the strikers have to start to either adapt and at least start attempting other areas.
Yeah. It would be one thing if he was James Milnering it and tucking it into the corner.
Yeah, where the keeper just can't
Where
get
like
to it
you
no
just
matter
can't
what
save it
happens.
unless you cheat that way.
Yeah.
But it's not, dude. He's not even tucking him in the corner. He's just
No.
putting it low to the right. It's I mean, obviously City romped him otherwise. That penalty
it
wasn't
didn't have
deciding the
anything to do
game.
with it,
but it
but-
was a small frustration and interesting note for me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I would like to see a keeper save one of Haaland's penalties this year because it looks like
if he's going to the
really
same spot
predictable.
that frequently,
Yeah.
somebody's got to do it.
Let's jump over to the Cottage, dude. Fulham
Fulham.
2, Leicester 1.
Smith Rowe with
Talking
his first
points
goal.
for Alex here. Yeah.
I love it.
Smith Rowe and your boy Iwobi, dude.
Iwobi, man.
Don't forget.
The boys.
We got
Did you see
Arsenal
those
B
awesome
down on the
photo of
Thames.
those two, like the same pose, basically double high-fiving?
Yes.
It was like those two
Yes, I
in
did.
Arsenal kit and those two for
Yeah.
Fulham.
Fun
Made
times.
me happy.
I bet.
I love it. I love those I love both those players.
Digging around the Reddits and the YouTubes, it's really making Fulham fans happy too. They're
Yeah.
really stoked on Smith Rowe.
They should. Honestly, I really think they should be.
Yeah.
I bought a Smith Rowe kit, for God's sake. He was somebody I really backed to be a huge player for Arsenal.
I think you're going to see a ton of Smith Rowe Fulham kits.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's their guy, I think.
I kind of want one myself.
They're a good looking kit.
It's a good looking kit.
nice, clean kit. Everyone knows it's a neutral kit. It's not like you're a plastic.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Who can hate on Fulham?
Right?
But no, they should be. I think they have every right to be excited about what Smith Rowe can do for them. I hope Arsenal put some clauses in that sale for potential
sure.
future sales.
Yeah, if they're smart, they did.
Because
First
he could
refusal
get a
or
big
at least
move
a
at some
percentage,
point
yeah.
if he goes on. I mean, he can stay fit. Really, is the big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, happy to see. Nice little bullet point for the weekend.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, Alex is gonna enjoy this.
Yep, that made me
Definitely.
happy for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a good weekend of football.
Yeah, it has. Just wrapped up by Liverpool 2, Brentford 0.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, man, that happened today.
Yeah, we just watched that. It wasn't the greatest game. I think it really looked like Liverpool really looked like what we are, which is a good squad that can get these games won.
Yep.
But definitely going through a little bit of a remodel.
Yeah, still some awkward moments for the team.
It got a little stale at times. Brentford had their chances.
Yep.
But it wasn't a bad game, and we scored good goals. Salah again is looking like prime era Salah.
I was gonna say, man, every time the more we say Salah should have been sold, I think the better he gets.
Yeah.
rolls back
I
the
have
year
here.
more and more.
I'm actually more on the Salah train than I've ever been, I think, in his
Honestly,
Liverpool career.
what about something about him? Maybe it's the shaved hair.
I think I like him looking a little older and more rugged.
He also he has adapted his game.
Yeah, he has.
He has become a lot more of an I mean, he was always an assist guy as well. He was never a one-sided player when it came to that.
Yeah.
But something about his game feels different now.
It's a lot less aggressively dribbling at one-on-one defender situations.
Yeah, he knows that he's not that player
He's
anymore.
looking for the pass a lot.
And he's so good at it. He's got such a touch.
He is.
It's unbelievable.
He's still
to
got the
watch.
core strength to be a hold-up player
I
too.
mean, yeah, he's
Salah
absolutely
can
cut.
body anyone in the league off of
He's
himself.
strong as hell,
He's
dude.
so
He's
that's
so
that's
strong.
always low key been his superpower. Actually,
Yeah. That
is
was
his
the thing
core
with
strength.
Slot in the preseason when playing him as 9. You see why. Even though it doesn't really make sense, obviously, to do that at any point in the season. But if you had to, he's so strong.
Yeah.
If you can get the ball into him, he will hold it up for you.
Yeah, I described him like dribbling at defenders a lot, but even in his prime on the wing, a lot of times his cut inside would be like bodying someone out and rolling off of
Turning off of
rather
players.
than just dribbling
Which
through.
is funny because that's a big thing that I know they trained Saka to do a lot more.
Oh, really?
And I wonder if that comes from a bit of Salah's play style.
Sure, similar height
Using
player.
that
You
physical-
you lose that low center of gravity and just like the way I used to play hockey.
Yeah.
I've never been the strongest guy in the world. I was stronger than most people I played against in hockey because I could plant my feet and use my low center of gravity.
Yeah, it's
to
Datsuk
just like stick your butt out and just hit people off of it. You know,
Datsuk was a tiny little baby when he came into the NHL. And nobody could hurt that guy or push him off the puck because he was just so balanced.
But yeah, that's out of order in my notes. But yeah, I definitely had praise for Salah in there. Dude.
Yeah.
He's looking fantastic.
He's looking really good.
Yeah, you know what else is looking good? Those Brentford kits.
Brentford away kits.
Even better than I thought.
They're hot.
I didn't predict the like kind of plum shorts.
Yeah, with it.
It's like it's like a monochromatic tone, but it's like more saturated.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a beautiful full kit.
it is. Except for that Hollywood sponsor, it'd be iconic. Dude.
I know. It's really tragic that that's their sponsor.
Super, super great looking kit. I got lots of aesthetic praise for this match.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about is I'm like actively at this point trying to resist falling in love with Dominic Soboslai. The dude, we knew from day one how handsome he was.
He's super handsome, yeah.
Now Slot's playing him in a 10 spot, and we're starting to see the his
magic
game, dude. And I'm trying to I'm like, no, it's a handsome bubble. He can't. But
he's not that great.
I'm starting to see a player there, dude. And
I mean, I think we all expected a player when you signed him.
yeah,
we expect everyone saw the ability.
It's true, but then
the
I kind of distraction meme got flipped to Alexis McAllister.
I mean, McAllister did have a great season last season. It's hard not to.
Who I was expecting to see in this more like overt
forward
10
role.
Yeah, literally, where's the 10?
Yeah.
But so far, Soboslai has gotten a little more forward freedom, and he's reaping. He looks fucking awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
And he's so handsome.
It also works out well because McAllister is so adaptable that you can fit him in somewhere else in the midfield.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Don't want to do Alex Mack dirty. I love him so much.
He's such a good player.
I love the idea of those two becoming a powerhouse midfield duo, dude.
Yeah, that's a great cool midfield tandem, dude.
Very elegant midfielders to watch.
Yeah, that's a fun midfield to watch.
For sure, dude.
We'll see whether it becomes fruitful as far as winning games, but that is
right.
A sexy midfield duo.
It's funny. I have on here he's Moneyball handsome, and that is it. It's like the handsome bubble in 30 Rock or Brad Pitt's whole character motivation in Moneyball.
Yeah,
which is he was a really good-looking baseball player when he swung a bat.
Yep,
and he was overrated and flopped.
Yep.
So he's obsessed with seeing through those good looks. And now that's me. Every time Soboslai does something, I'm like, is he really that good?
Is he actually that good?
Or am I just
super
being hypnotized by his handsomeness? It's a real
That's
challenge.
so funny.
It's a challenge for me right now.
I get that.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, in keeping up the aesthetic theme, I want to talk about our beautiful counterattack goal.
Yeah.
And it was
so classic counterattack.
Yeah, it really truly was. That's what we've been doing. It's really funny because the commentators in this game spent a lot of time talking about the new style of Arne Slot.
Yeah. Controlling the game, having the ball.
These fans are going to have to be a little more patient.
Yeah.
Like, this is all about slowing things down. All of our goals so far this season have been very Jurgen Klopp goals.
Yeah.
In this game, it was a counterattack from their corner.
Yeah.
It looked... Honestly, I was saying if you did an AI skin where you put Firmino over Jota and Mane over Diaz,
it's like the same goal you've seen.
I would not doubt for a second that was a Firmino Diaz or a Firmino Mane highlight from back in the day. The way Jota takes the ball and dribble and he slows it down and then picks the pass right as Diaz is changing his direction.
Yep,
that's pure Firmino.
Yeah,
timing and everything. Timing
of everything in that was perfect.
And then just the kind of raw way that Diaz ran in and lashed that into the upper corner. That's pure Mane. Just looks a little out of control.
Yeah. But perfectly placed.
Throwback.
In the corner.
Awesome goal. Loved it.
It was great.
The second one was fucking classic gegenpressing, recovering the ball right outside the box and just poking it home.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, making it look super easy by just winning the ball super high.
Yeah.
The one thing one thing I like about Slot so far is I love seeing Jota starting up top.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
incredible stuff.
Always start Jota up top.
Yeah, I love some Darwin Nunez.
Me
but,
too.
Dude, Jota so much. If we're gonna be like,
but Nunez can play in the wing.
did you see exactly?
He's fast enough and quick, like tricky enough to play out wide.
We scored 2 very Klopp goals. We almost scored what I think is going to be a definitive Ernest slot goal. Did you see that where Mo was kind of doing like, what is it when a running back runs around behind the whole team and goes around the other side? And he was playing a series of 1-2s the whole way, all the way around the box, and he almost snuck in at the far post. The defender got a leg to block. But that I think
seems like what Slot's going for a bit more.
That looked like a different style of football all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite come off. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that.
For sure. New style old goals. That's what I got here. And that is the end of my notes.
The end of it.
Yeah, what else you got, dude?
Shoo. What else do we have? I feel like
I've dogged Luis Diaz on this pod. I should say while we're on the Liverpool that he had an exceptional game.
he looked great. He
Both
looked really good.
his assist and his goal were really controlled. I said a little wild as I described it a minute ago. But no, they were good. He had a lot of he looked good.
Yeah, he did look good.
He had a really good game.
What was I gonna say? I thought I had something else.
Sorry, dog.
Oh, did we talk about Solanke's injury for
no,
Tottenham?
I glossed over that. My bad.
We could touch on that real quick. Just I forgot the.
Yeah.
That's a frustrating blow for Tottenham fans in a big win.
Super Spursy.
Yeah.
To have your new marquee signing
go down injured.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously they banged in 4 goals, so nice response.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, it's frustrating stuff when you get a new player you're super excited about.
Yeah. 100%, dude. Did we mention that Yves Bissouma banger? It was
we didn't.
Such a good goal.
What a hit that was.
Yeah, it was a screamer, dude.
Yeah.
Proper screamer. There were a lot of good goals this weekend.
I was gonna say I was picturing too the João Felix's first goal.
João Felix's goal was great.
That was a very classic, satisfying, just banging in the top corner.
Yeah, if we're being real, we could probably talk about Chelsea's offense a lot more than we did.
Yeah, Madueke looked unbelievable.
Yeah, we've been making fun of all their signings, and their offense just kind of we're like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, it looks like he's
look at all the toys
starting to
we have.
figure out what works.
We'll see.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, they still looked sloppy as hell at times.
It was an explosive display, though.
Yeah.
Offensively.
You could see the power they have and ability they have to score.
It was like, holy shit, they should
be fun to watch.
It's like,
year.
Right, they did spend $1 billion on attackers. My bad.
They should be super fun to watch, hopefully.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed, speaking of coaches in profile,
mm-hmm.
from the profile, I would swear that Maresca is Pep Guardiola sometimes, dude.
I've seen out of the corner of my eye watching the screen, and I thought it was him for sure.
A camera over his shoulder from behind catching him at this angle. It's Guardiola, bro.
Yeah, literally, it was on the screen, and he was talking, and I was kind of not paying attention, and I looked over, and I thought I was looking at Pep. I was like, I'm gonna look at Pep, and I was like, oh
no,
nope.
Dude, he's a straight up clone.
That's so funny.
It's super funny.
Should we look ahead to the next games real quick?
Yeah,
just a quick. We don't have to do a whole talk about them, but. Dude, there's some big games coming up.
I'll honestly just shout ahead to Manchester United Liverpool's next weekend.
Yeah, Sunday.
Talk about throwing Slot into the deep end. That'll be it for him.
Yeah.
Let's
see. That is at Old Trafford too.
Yeah, if we drop points there, it's going to be really tough for Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans are in a bad place right now, I should say.
Oh, yeah?
Not because the team is bad, but because they're idiots and we haven't signed anybody.
Oh, okay. I see. They're frustrated with that.
Really frustrated with the lack of signings.
Okay.
Even though, again, the squad looks in such good shape.
Right?
Sure, we would love a new number 6.
Who wouldn't?
Gravenberg's looked solid, though.
Yeah.
You know?
He's earning the right to be there right now.
Yeah.
But huge, yeah. That's a huge match. Arsenal-Brighton. Arsenal doesn't have any easier of a run.
That's a sexy one, dude.
Going right into Brighton after Villa.
Good.
Not the big names, but the teams that you don't want to play.
I think also, I mentioned The Athletic earlier. I think they also had a piece this week entitled, "Is Something Happening at Brighton?" Which, okay, I'm glad you're writing about Brighton, but also, come on. Something's been happening
at Brighton for a long time now.
For a minute. I think... Yeah, they're starting to spend bigger money. Maybe that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
Yeah. Well.
But they do seem like they're trying to go up a level.
They probably see Villa trying to pull in there, and they're like, uh-oh, we got to compete. We got to stay up there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What else? What
else we got? We got Newcastle-Tottenham.
Interesting one.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah. That's kind of a hate watch for me.
Yeah, right? Ipswich and Fulham, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that actually will. That will be a really interesting one. That's a dark horse candidate game of the week.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Everything else is not super interesting. City, West Ham,
Sure.
Chelsea, Palace.
Sure.
Yeah. A
Okay.
couple big headline games this weekend.
Yeah, we don't need to dive in too much, but I like Arsenal, Brighton, Liverpool, United. That's
We both have big games this weekend.
beautiful headlines for the pod.
Yeah,
It's all about content for the pod.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, should we
wanna-
wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up, dog. I think
That's
it's
pretty
a
good pod.
pretty good length episode.
Yeah.
Folks, thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on
The
Instagram.
socials.
Leave us a goddamn review on Apple Podcasts.
Bam, come on, do us a favor.
Check us out on
On the YouTubes,
YouTube. That's the one I missed. Our handsome faces.
subscribe.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Later, y'all.
Soccer situation.
Slay.